All right. We are live from the Empowered Mom Studios. And the question that is being asked today is what happens if women really come into all of our power? Is that really the best way for society to go? Or is it going to be chaotic and cause a lot of problems? Well, I'm sure you can already figure out my take on it because I am a woman and I am empowered. However, let's just play with this. Let's just play with this for a minute because I'm still seeing that there's some men out there that are really, really, really threatened by the idea of women teaching, women leading their families, women being equal in their partnerships, women basically inspiring men, women in their sexuality, because sexuality, ooh, bad. We're using our powers to seduce men into doing what we want, manipulative, evil, horrible. And some men even like to say that it's because that is the way that God wants things to be. They love to pull that religious card. And there's a TV show that I used to watch. I don't watch it anymore. I just can't. I can't. It's just way too negative. I mean, I love Margaret Atwood and I love the message of empowerment, but right now I'm just too focused on lighting people up that I can't watch it anymore. I watched Handmaid's Tale for the first 3 seasons, and all it did was piss me off because all I could see out there was the actual oppression. It's like, holy crap, this is happening. But have you ever asked yourself the question, why? Why is it that men are so threatened by powerful women? Or more importantly, why is it that wounded men are threatened by women in power? Because I got a whole bunch of men in my life now, adopted dads, adopted granddads, adopted brothers that are just like, they are amazing. And they are fiercely standing for me being in a position of power. They are all for it. They understand, they recognize that women in power is a good thing. But let's just take, for argument's sake, let's take apart that example of what it says in a certain book that people like to interpret a certain way and then use it as their dogma to try to force others to believe the same thing. And they use it to oppress people and they use it to create like these horrible conditions for women. Let's just look at that for a second. Well, if you go back to the beginning of time, before that book was put out there, you have to really look at the historical context for things. This is what I do all the time in my teaching for birth too, is looking at the historical context. Why are so many women being treated like crap in the medical system? Why is it that childbirth is so rigidly controlled? Well, because first of all, when you have a child with the power of your own with the power of your own body, when you really have that empowered birth experience, do you know what happens? You can't be put back in the box. When you're tapping into your innate sexuality and you're not coming at it from a place of having to get something from someone, but just doing it out of your own expression, your own desire, and you're doing it from a place of power instead of a place of fear, a place of lack, what that gives you access to is your full range of power. Ladies, we are freaking powerful goddesses. We are freaking powerful. I can't say the word on Facebook, they'll censor me, but it's 3 letters, starts with an S, ends with an X. We're witches, okay? With the first letter in front of it. There is a whole bunch of power that we tap into every time the moon has a cycle, every time we have a cycle, every time the leaves change, the seasons change, we are tapped into that. We are literally tied into nature. And we're the ones that birth children. Like, we can literally create life. We are the source of all life. So when agriculture came around and men started to recognize that they had power in land ownership and they had power when it came to who would bear their children, there were a few men, probably some wounded ones with some ego issues, that decided to take what was beautiful about women and commoditize it. Well, what's the fastest way to keep your resources for yourself? Well, if you've got this powerful goddess and you want to disempower her, well, what do? You strip her of her sexuality. You strip her of her ability to be her full self, and you oppress her and you make her literal property. And then you convince her that the only way out of being this evil thing is through childbearing. Now, the thing is that there's hidden roots in that statement where, yeah, we actually do have access to more power through childbirth, but we have it all along. And what I do, of course, is with these mothers who have been oppressed and told over and over and over again that they are the lower ones on the totem pole and that they can only get so far in their career and they can't be in leadership roles. What do? I teach them how to have an empowered birth. What does that do with the rest of their life? Well, it does the same thing it did for me. You break free of those constraints and suddenly you see your full power and you tap back in to that energy. Because birth and the 3-letter word that Facebook will probably not let me say because they've cut me off before, it's tied together. And I put those two things together all the time in my teaching and what I teach my clients and what I embody for myself. I mean, there is no accident that I am just dressed like in like this outfit, like shoulder bearing. How dare I, right? Because I'm a mom, I shouldn't do that. And when you see that all the time, you see moms who are like, I'm a mom now. Is it okay for me to wear this off the shoulder dress? Hell yeah, it is. In fact, go check out my mentor, my best friend, Danny Lala, and how she dresses. Like, she is just like the epitome of women's empowerment. She is a powerful goddess. And she just owns it. And I own it. I totally own it. And that's what I'm really saying is that, you know what? When women own their power, you know what it does? First of all, it inspires our children. Our sons see powerful women. Our daughters see what they can become. And our partners, especially if we have male partners, our male partners step up into their full range of their ability to tap into their emotions, their self-actualization. Women don't just focus on one area of success. Claire Zammit talked about this today in Coach Expo, which, by the way, is super cool and awesome and epic. And we're going until Monday. So if you want to check this out, we don't have replays right now, but you can go and check out the streaming every day from 8 a.m. Pacific until 11, well, almost 11 Pacific. So it's like 3 hours, but we're having new speakers on each day. I'm working the chat. So I'm actually working and I just got off work and I feel so lit up. And I just had to share this because, the thing is women, we focus on all areas. So it's like, okay, I'm getting a little bit of momentum in my career. I'm getting a little bit of momentum in what I'm creating in the world. So now I'm going to work on another area of my life. And I've seen this. I actually have done this. It's like, okay, I've got some courses. Now I'm going to work towards my next level. How do I get better at speaking? How do I get better at, maybe there's other areas of coaching that I can expand on. When I'm done working with a client, I'm not actually done. I'm constantly tracking for their next level and I'm loving them into it. Even if they're not working directly with me, I'm encouraging them to go to their next level. And I've got clients that are now like running businesses of their own. Like they're creating their own things that they're doing with their partner. In fact, one of my first clients, she went from having her birth experience. It didn't go exactly the way she wanted, but she did reclaim a lot of her power. She reclaimed her voice, and then she healed her from her birth after that. She worked on her relationship. She's got a more centered relationship with her partner. And then she's gone beyond that and she's creating things. In fact, she even created something recently for our community on how to heal from a C-section. Like she put that out there. And I'm so freaking proud of her for doing that. And of course, then there's my business partner. I mean, she's doing the same thing. She's establishing herself. She had her empowered birth. She's also creating now more income streams for herself. She's inspiring her partner. She's doing epic, amazing things. Even outside of what we're building together, she's doing things for herself. And that's what women do. When we tap into that creative fire, what this does for us is it allows us to create beyond. And by doing that, we inspire our children, we inspire our friends, we inspire our family, we inspire our partners, we inspire the men around us. So even if we're not in a romantic relationship with a man, we're still inspiring them. I've got some male friends that I am standing for their success and also pushing them into finding their ideal true love partner, because I'm all about true love. I believe, and Annie Lala, of course, she just embodies this because this is her teaching, but I truly believe in what she's saying, that true love is your highest level for self-actualization. When you find your true love, they're like a mirror to you, and they will mirror all of your shadows and all of your strengths, and they will love you into greatness. They become a trampoline for your dreams and a sanctuary for your heart. So going back to that question, is it okay for a woman to be in equal partnership with a man and not be subservient to him? Hell yes. And if she is not able to be her full expressive self, then I also embody this. It's like everyone before the one is practice for the one. So I recognized 3 years ago, once I met Annie and I saw her with Eben and I saw what was embodied in the community, and I'm like, you know what? This partner I'm with, I can't stay with him. Let's just toss the abusive part aside. Even if he changes that, even if he stops being so mean to me, I can't stay with him. He could be super nice, but I can't stay with him. Why? Because I am way more powerful. The thing is that people aren't naturally abusive. What happens is that when you rise up to a higher level and they're not meeting their full potential, you start to be a mirror for the fact that they are not at their high level potential. And women are really good at this. So again, why is it that there's a lot of men that are threatened? Because they want to stay. They don't want to do their work. They don't want to work and evolve. And having a woman that is fully evolved is a threat to them because they know that they're not going to have access to them. They would rather have the one that is below them because she's not going to make them grow. But if we all rise up, those men do not have access to us. They get really angry. They get really into their ego. They're like, how dare these women parade themselves in their sexy outfits, but I can't have access. No, sweetheart. That's because you don't get access to just any woman. You need your true love and you have to step up to get her. Otherwise, you're just going to keep getting into relationships where the woman either cheats on you or you cheat on her, or you just don't work together. There's no passion because it's practice. It's practice to get you to your next level. Every relationship is a lesson. So I did a lot of practice. I had to really learn how to stand in my power. And you know what? Even though I know that there's some of you out there that know exactly what happened with me and my ex, and you know that I was really broken down. But let me just tell you something. Even though he was in his crazy quite a bit, and even though there was some really, really hard, awful things, I'm still grateful for those lessons. I don't demonize him for that. I mean, yeah, it really sucked. At the same time, would I have become the Phoenix if he had just been nice? No, no. I had to keep rising into my power. I had to show him where he was no longer meeting me so that we could fall away. We had to. We were only meant to have those kids together. We were only meant to practice and grow as much as we can. And now, you know what? We're friends. Like I can be his friend. Does he still sometimes have his crazies? Totally. He's still got some work to do. I mean, everybody has work to do. There's only so much work you can do outside of a partnership. And that's why I am calling in my true love. But I'm not going to go into any more relationships that are just temporary. No, it's true love or I'm waiting because I'm not I want to self-actualize. That's the other thing about women is when we see our power is we want to self-actualize. And by us wanting to self-actualize, we inspire the men around us to self-actualize. We inspire our children to self-actualize. If our children only see us outside of the power, like mom doesn't have any power in this relationship, what that does is have them have that unconscious belief that there's only so far that they can go. And then they limit themselves and they clip their own wings. Because when all you see is how hard life is, and all you see is everybody afraid to even step out of their comfort zone, you clip your own wings. And I have clipped my wings before, but I'm not clipping my wings anymore. And another thing though about me being in my power that I've noticed is that there are some people out there that are really threatened by that. And there's women out there that are threatened by that. And the reason women get threatened by it is just completely different. When a woman is catty and nasty to another woman, and I've recognized this now, it's like why those girls were all so mean to me in high school and in elementary school was because I was so fully myself and they didn't know what to do with me. And Michaela is now experiencing this because she is so fully herself because I let her be herself. Why would I make her be anything other than herself? But the other girls that don't have that at home are now kind of picking on her and trying to make her be less shiny than she is. It's like the rainbow fish. If you've ever read that story, I love the alternate ending that an evolved man created for his children. He actually created 3 different alternate endings for stories. So one of them was Love You Forever, where the son actually sets boundaries with his overbearing mother. And there's another one with the giving tree, where the giving tree actually tells the boy, no, I'm not going to let you chop me down for a house because I've given enough and I'm not doing that. Like she's very like, I'm not going to give everything to you. You need to give something to me. And then the rainbow fish, which is the one I'm going to talk about, which the rainbow fish was always so beautiful and brilliant. And all the other fish were always so intimidated by the rainbow fish. And maybe the rainbow fish had a little bit of ego, but the rainbow fish goes and talks to this octopus, and the octopus tells the rainbow fish to give away some of its scales so that the other fish can be shiny. But the rainbow fish is no longer shiny. And that you don't do that. Okay. You don't do that. You don't give away all of your light. That was my problem for a very long time. I didn't see that I needed to give that love to myself and then pour it out. Instead, I was just constantly pouring out everything and leaving nothing for myself. So I wasn't able to stay shiny. I was giving all that light to others. And bad relationships, toxic relationships that have that tendency where one person is just giving and giving and giving, and the other one is just taking and taking and taking, and then criticizing at the same time because you're not giving enough, because they can't source themselves, does not work. Does not work. It kills your soul. I mean, it's no accident that in 2018, I did a drawing that's now actually it's a painting again on my wall. It's a little fire fox and it's leaping out of the darkness. Now it's got a full moon behind it, but before it was just leaping out of the darkness. It was fire soul. I had all this passion that was coming out of the darkness. And there's no accident why I've got this picture behind me. Like that's my archetype. That's me coming out of the water with the phoenix rising. It's like that is me coming out of that darkness and rising anew. So like that is it though. You have to recognize you can't give away everything. So when women are in their full power, they don't give away everything. They don't just sleep with any man who says that they love them. They wait for the one, which is threatening to a lot of men who think that women are just a commodity that they should just be allowed to get without any work. Mothers do not apologize for taking a break. They do not just give and give and give and give everything to their family and have nothing for themselves. Instead, they say, look, I love you so much, sweetheart. Mommy really needs to rest right now. I can give you a hug and I can sit and I can read you a story. But no, I'm not going to play this game right now with you. No, I'm not going to fix that for you. You can fix that yourself. Like you already know how to do that, or I'll show you some steps on how you can do that. But no, I'm not doing everything for you. And being able to say no to things. I mean, how often is it like, well, you're a stay-at-home mom or you're a work-at-home mom and you make your own hours. So you should be able to volunteer for this thing. You should have time. I might have time, but I'd rather fill my time with something else. So no, I'm not going to do that. And being able to have those strong boundaries and say no, again, is good for humanity. Because first of all, it shows other women how to do it. And it also shows our children how to be more independent and to evolve to their next level, even go beyond us. And it also shows our partners and the men in our lives how to step up and how to also, because men are high achievers and they're very, very action oriented. I mean, there's some very high level men that I've seen that they just go, 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 go. But then they don't know how to rest. And then they burn themselves out and they wonder what's not working. So as a woman, your job is to also show the way on how to rest. But when we don't take that time to rest for ourselves, we can't show anybody else the way. So that's another thing is I'm very intentional. As soon as I finish teaching today, I'm going to take a rest. I'm not going to do more stuff this weekend. This is my weekend. Yes, I'm helping out with Coach Expo. Normally I take the whole weekend off, but I'm helping with Coach Expo right now. So I've taken some time to actually do more work than I normally do on the weekend. But this is my weekend. I'm going to celebrate it the way I want. And I'm going to rest because I've recognized that I actually get more stuff done when I take rest. I know, right? Like what a concept. Taking a nap in the middle of the day actually makes me more productive. Taking that time at certain points of the month to just rest, or when the moon is doing its weird eclipse thing and it's doing all that weird energies, and actually just tuning into it and allowing myself more rest time has actually allowed me to get more inspiration, more creative fire, more energy than when I was just go, 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 go all the time. So again, women, we're in tune with our cycles of nature around us. We're very in tune. When we actually connect to the source of nature around us and recognize that there's a cycle going on, and we honor that, and we don't just try to push through by downing a bunch of coffee or staying up until 3 a.m. and just keep doing and doing and doing, but instead be like, you know what? I've done enough and I'm going to hire some help, or I'm going to ask my family to step up more and do some things for themselves. And I'm going to not worry about trying to do all of the things all of the time. I'm not going to be everything for everyone all of the time. I'm going to first be with myself and to really recognize that's like, you know what? I'm feeling a lot of emotions today. So I'm going to cancel everything and I'm going to just take some time for myself. That really is how you tap into your power. So, are women good leaders? Damn straight we are. We're meant to be leaders. Back in the pagan times, we were the high priestesses for a reason. Okay? And just because that word, the P word, that I am on a mission to dismantle. And I'm not even going to apologize for the fact that I'm dismantling it. Like, that will allow men to have access to all of their emotions. They're going to be able to rest more. They're going to be able to create more at a higher level. They're going to be able to build more. Women will be able to create more. We'll be able to inspire our children. And we're going to be able to create a more balanced, beautiful society where there isn't this huge hierarchy of class where people are all on like inequality and fear and not having that prosperity and abundance. Like, it's really lacking. I mean, there's so many people that are in this mindset that like there's just not enough resources. Well, you know how you create more resources? Women create more resources. We find a way. We know when something is enough, and then we let it grow back. So I'm just going to say it again if you didn't get it the first time. Any message that says that women should not teach, throw it out the window. That was patriarchy. That was control. That was trying to make it so that the top few would have the resources and the rest would all be working and slaving for life, and be grateful for it, because in the end, when they die, that's when they're going to get their reward. So keep working at it. Keep working at it. Haha, nice try. It was a really great lie for a while, but it's not true spirituality. It's not really what nature intended. And the reason why Mother Nature is hurting right now and pushing back so much is because people keep thinking that it's take and take and take and take and take. And there's that control and that fear. But when the women rise, the fear goes away. Inspiration happens, creative fire happens, more resources open up, men evolve, children evolve. And anybody who doesn't want to do the work, they can just, yeah, evolution favors those who are actually going to evolve. So if those people who do not have access to the high level women cannot breed anymore, their genes go bye-bye. Anybody who's not evolving in the next generation with the mindsets, well, their way is eventually going to die out. Women are rising back into power. Accept it. We're not going back in the box. Not now that I have my book anyway. Like, I've written this book and it tells you everything you need to know about not going back into the box. And I am not going to stop soapboxing. In fact, I've just gotten started. So that's what I have for you. And again, if you want to check out some truly amazing speakers, come tomorrow to Coach Expo, okay? Go to coachexpo.com to register. You'll get the link to come into the stream and you'll be able to join us on Zoom. You'll get to hang out with me because I'm in the chat. I'm dropping a whole bunch of value bombs, and I'm also helping support the team and getting questions answered while the speakers are speaking, because, you know, like an event this size, we need all the help we can get. And yeah, it's just incredible. Like, we've already had Dean Graziosi speak. We've had Claire Zammit. We've had John Assaraf. We have had, like, I mean, Eben and Annie are just dropping so much on its own. And these speakers are just like the icing on the cake. That's already delicious. I mean, learning from Eben and Annie is just, if you've never heard them speak, get in here. Seriously, get in here. It's like nothing else. And that's my little plug for today, because I love my community so much. What they've done for me is just phenomenal. I'm in my power. I'm like fully in my power, and I'm not apologizing anymore. And if you want to be in my circle, one of the prerequisites of being in my circle and staying in my circle, you got to do your work. You got to evolve, because I got strong boundaries on my time. I got strong boundaries on what I will and will not allow. And I make no apologies for that anymore. So I can love you. I so love you. But at the same time, I mean, there's some people that I love so much that I've had to just kind of take a step back from because the energy is just draining. It's just draining. And it's not their fault. It's not their fault they're at that level. But just being around that now, I'm really in tune with my body for the first time in my life. And I just noticed that I just don't have the energy. I'm not lit up. If I'm not lit up, I just can't. I can't. So, I mean, it's sad, but it doesn't take away any of my love. And I'm just going to tell you, especially if you're a mom, if there's people in your life that aren't lighting you up, like just rise up. Just rise up anyway. They'll either meet you where you're at or they'll fall away. And it's sad that they'll fall away, but you don't have to go down to their level. In fact, for your children's sake, you need to keep rising so that your children can keep rising so they don't clip their own wings. Because you know what? If they're going to school and they're around other kids and they're around other adults, those people are already trying to clip your beautiful kids' wings. So you have to be the one person in all the world that will not let anybody clip their wings. And when someone tries, you remind your children, you say, sweetheart, I know that person said that, but I don't believe that for a second. I believe you can do anything. And I see your gifts. Or I at least believe that others will see your gifts in time. Be Mrs. Jumbo. Don't be those catty elephants. Be Mrs. Jumbo. She already loved her son, even though he had those big, big, enormous ears. And what did Dumbo end up doing? He could frickin' fly. Could any other elephants fly? No, but Dumbo could fly. All right. So remember that your child, as unique as they are, as challenging as they might be, as confronting as they might be to other people, they're Dumbo. They have their own magic that has to be tapped out. Like it has to come out. And you've got to be that strong, fierce leader that isn't afraid of the oppression that will happen because you know in the end, your child is going to thrive. And you know that the world is going to be a better place. Because, women behaving badly are the ones that make history. They're the ones that change. They're the change makers. We're the witches that they couldn't burn. We're the ones. So step into your power, ladies and men. Start recognizing that a powerful woman is an asset, not a liability. In fact, if she is your true love, is the one who's going to give you access to all of your magic. But until you see that, you're just going to keep going in the same pattern. So you're not going to fully evolve. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. You're just not going to be able to reach that full potential until you have that trampoline for your dreams and sanctuary for your heart. I truly believe that. All right. So I'm going to go and take a nap now because I have been just putting my magic out there and I need to go and give it back to myself. I love you. Bye.